Chosen one, pause and open your spirit, because you are not here by accident. You have been drawn into this moment by divine appointment and perfect timing. Heaven has interrupted your path because you are standing at the very edge of a supernatural breakthrough, a divine wealth transfer that has already begun moving in the unseen. Anointed one, the Spirit of God is unveiling what has been hidden and revealing what has been delayed. Just as Jeremiah 33:3 declares, the Lord is showing you great and unsearchable things. This is a holy moment. Lean in. Something is being released over your life right now. Chosen one. Every breath you take in this moment is happening under divine supervision. You may think you simply clicked on a video, but heaven has engineered a precise alignment to bring you right here, right now. There are moments in life when something begins to stir beneath the surface long before the mind can comprehend it. This is one of those moments. The atmosphere around you is shifting, and if you sit still for just a second, you can almost feel it, that quiet pull in your spirit, that soft tightening in your chest, that whisper telling you, pay attention. Heaven does not interrupt your life without purpose. When God steps in, it is never random and never without reason. Anointed one. You have been sensing something, haven't you? That subtle unrest that doesn't speak in words but in waves. That internal check that rises just before you agree to something or someone that your spirit cannot fully trust. You may have brushed it aside. You may have convinced yourself you were imagining things. But heaven does not warn without cause. There is something unfolding behind the scenes of your life, and it carries both a warning and a promise. The warning is simple. Not every hand that reaches toward you comes in peace. Not every face that smiles at you carries clean intentions. And sometimes the person who appears to be the closest to your heart is the very one heaven is trying to pull you away from. But the promise is greater. The promise is that God is not exposing the counterfeit to embarrass you. He is exposing it to promote you. Chosen one, I want you to hear this with your spirit, not just your ears. When God reveals the hidden intentions of a person, it is because you are stepping into a season where your circle must be clean, your atmosphere must be guarded, and your destiny must be protected at all costs. Heaven is preparing you for a divine upgrade, a supernatural shift in elevation and blessing. And God will not allow you to carry dead weight into a season meant to be overflowing with favor. You are not imagining the strange heaviness that sometimes settles into your chest after certain conversations. You're not imagining the way your energy suddenly drops when a specific person enters the room or calls your phone. You're not imagining the uneasiness, the pause, the hesitation that rises inside you when you sense something is off. That is discernment. That is heaven tugging on your spirit, pulling your attention toward what your eyes cannot see. I know this feeling personally. I've lived through seasons where I trusted people who studied my kindness like a map, people who smiled as they extracted people who had motives they never intended to reveal. I ignored the signs. I over-explained the red flags. I gave grace to patterns that were not from God. And every time I silenced that inner voice, that divine warning, life became heavier, slower, more confusing. But the moment I listened, the moment I surrendered to what God was showing me, everything shifted quickly, powerfully, undeniably. And the same is happening now for you, Anointed One. Heaven is not only warning you, heaven is rescuing you. God is clearing the fog so you can finally see the truth for what it is, not for what you hoped it would be. And here's the part people don't like to talk about. Sometimes God must reveal the wrong person so he can release the right season. Sometimes he must shake your circle so he can secure your destiny. Sometimes he must expose the counterfeit so he can usher in the blessing that has been waiting for you to be free. Chosen one. Your spirit has already sensed what your mind is only now beginning to acknowledge. The uneasiness was the first sign. The drained energy was the second. The sudden distance or emotional shift was the third. These were not coincidences, they were warnings. Warnings that someone close to you was not aligned with your calling. Warnings that a person was holding on to your presence while hiding their true intentions. Warnings that heaven had seen conversations, thoughts and motives you were never meant to witness because they would have broken your heart prematurely. But now, God is lifting the veil gently, intentionally with love. He is showing you the truth because he trusts you with the truth. And he knows that once you see clearly, you will never again settle for what was silently stealing your strength. Chosen one. Your elevation depends on this moment. Your peace depends on this moment. Your future depends on this moment. Heaven is choosing you again, covering you again, redirecting you again. Something is being revealed, yes, but something greater is being restored. And the hand of God is moving you out of harm's reach and into destiny's alignment. Chosen one. As you sit with what has already been spoken, something inside you is beginning to awaken. You may not fully understand it yet, but your spirit does. There is a trembling within you, not of fear, but of recognition. Heaven is drawing back a curtain that has hung over your life for far too long. And whether you realize it or not, you are stepping into a moment of divine intelligence, a moment where what was blurry becomes clear and what was confusing becomes painfully obvious. You gave them compassion, time, trust, loyalty. You opened doors for them. You prayed for them. You poured into them when your own cup wasn't even full. And in return, something about their presence began to drain you rather than strengthen you. That is not love. That is not alignment. That is spiritual interference. I know you felt it. That strange heaviness after the conversations that felt slightly off. The moments when you shared your dreams and their response didn't quite match the excitement you expected. The way their eyes shifted, the tone that changed, the compliments that felt more like calculations than genuine support. Your spirit has been picking up on something your mind refused to name. Chosen. One. Heaven has watched it all. The Lord has seen the silent motives. He has heard the private conversations you were not present for. He has observed the intentions that were wrapped in politeness but rooted in self-interest. And because of what's ahead of you, because of the doors God is unlocking and the blessings that have been waiting for you, he cannot allow this person to stay attached. Every destiny has a weight limit, and every blessing requires space to land. The Most High is making room for something greater, something purer, something aligned with your calling. And to make that room, he must first expose what has been limiting you. This exposure is not punishment. It is protection. You may feel the sting of realization, the shock of clarity, the ache that comes with understanding someone's true nature. But it is better to feel a temporary sting than to live a lifetime of spiritual suffocation. Anointed one. It is time to trust what your spirit has been whispering when something inside of you recoils, pauses, or tightens around someone that is not paranoia. That is discernment. That is the Holy Spirit safeguarding your destiny. And if you pay attention, you will notice that every season where God elevated, you came with a revelation, not just about who you are, but about who should not be beside you. Let me tell you something from experience. Elevation always exposes intention. When God begins to move you into higher territory, the hearts of people around you are revealed. Some rejoice, some withdraw, Some compete. Some pretend to support while secretly hoping you won't surpass them. And some, like the man heaven is warning you about, stay close enough to benefit from your light, but never close enough to honor it. I have walked through seasons where my discernment knew the truth, long before my emotions caught up. It is painful to realize that someone you trusted was quietly collecting information about you rather than protecting you. It is heartbreaking to see that someone admired your anointing not out of respect, but out of envy. But hear me, chosen one. God does not reveal to break you, He reveals to free you. And freedom always begins with truth. There is a reason this message reached you today. There is a reason your spirit leaned in instead of scrolling past. You are in a divine window of clarity. Heaven is handing you a key, not just to expose a person, but to unlock a new dimension of wisdom, discernment, and destiny. This is why everything has felt tense lately. This is why you have been restless. This is why your sleep has been disturbed, why your dreams have felt heavy, why your heart has been unsettled around certain people. Your spirit has been preparing you for this revelation long before the words formed on your lips. And now the unveiling has begun. Chosen one. The person God is warning you about is not far. They are close, too close. Close enough to hear your dreams, close enough to see your vulnerabilities, close enough to mimic concern while quietly studying your weaknesses. But their season in your story is ending. And when God ends a connection, it is because that connection has reached its limit. You are stepping into a realm where counterfeit relationships cannot survive. You are entering a season where your destiny requires purity of intention and clarity of atmosphere. Heaven is elevating you, and elevation demands separation. So breathe. Let this truth settle. Let the weight lift from your spirit. You are not losing anything. You are gaining your sight. Chosen one. Now that the veil has begun to lift, you need to understand something vital. The timing of this revelation is not random. Heaven did not reveal this months ago, nor years ago, nor at a time when you were still growing into the person you are now. The Most High waited until this precise moment because your spirit is stronger, your discernment is sharper, and your destiny is closer than ever. You are not who you were last year. You would not have been able to carry this truth then. But now you can. Anointed one, divine timing has a rhythm, and when heaven moves, it moves with intentional precision. God reveals things at the moment when the truth will not break you, but position you. When the truth will not crush your spirit, but clarify your direction. When the truth will not weaken your hope, but strengthen your resolve. Consider this, all the confusion you've felt lately, all the strange shifts in energy, all the moments when someone's presence drained the light from your spirit. These were not isolated incidents. They were signals that alignment was coming. Heaven has been preparing you for this unveiling, not in a loud, dramatic way, but through subtle impressions, inner nudges, and spiritual tension. Every moment of discomfort was prophetic. Every tug in your heart was a warning. Every uneasy silence was heaven speaking through your intuition. God reveals when He is ready to replace. God exposes when He is preparing to elevate. God removes when He is about to release. And chosen one, whether you see it yet or not, you are on the edge of divine release. This is why the man being revealed feels so significant. It is not just about a person. It is about a pattern. A spiritual pattern that has followed you through different seasons. People who come close enough to access your heart, but not clean enough to protect it. People who love your light, but resent your growth. People who admire your strength, but secretly benefit from your struggles. The timing of this exposure is heaven's declaration that the pattern has ended. You are stepping into a season of acceleration. A season where your name will be carried into rooms you never entered, where opportunities will find you without effort, where blessings will chase you because heaven has released them with your name written clearly across them. And in this kind of season, the wrong people cannot stay attached. They cannot receive access to blessings they did not cultivate or stand beside a destiny they did not honor. Anointed One. I want you to think back for a moment. Think about the times when you shared your dreams with this person and felt something inside you shrink afterward. Think about the moments when you felt smaller around them, not because of humility, but because of spiritual suffocation. Think about the times when your joy dimmed in their presence without explanation. Heaven saw every one of those moments. Heaven recorded every shift. Heaven measured every spiritual inconsistency. You did not imagine it. You did not overreact. You were discerning. And now, as God reveals there is something else unfolding beneath the surface, you are being prepared for supernatural promotion. Not just spiritual clarity, but elevation. Not just emotional healing, but divine advancement. The kind of elevation that cannot be sabotaged, delayed, or diluted by the presence of the wrong person. This is why the revelation came now. Because what is coming next requires your spirit to be unburdened. It requires your vision to be clear. It requires your atmosphere to be protected. And it requires you to walk without the weight of someone else's hidden intentions. Chosen One. Heaven has seen the conversations you never heard. Heaven has seen the envy you never noticed. Heaven has seen the manipulations you never recognized. And God said, enough. Not because He is angry with you, but because He is protective of you. You are His anointed. You are His chosen vessel. And He refuses to let you walk blindly into a future that has been soaked in prayer, shaped by purpose, and guarded by angels. You may feel shaken right now, but this shaking is holy. This clarity is purification. This exposure is preparation. And the most incredible part is this: what is being removed is nothing compared to what is being released. There is a new peace coming, one that will feel like fresh air in your lungs. There is a new strength rising, one that will silence the doubt inside you. There is a new opportunity forming, one that was delayed because of the wrong attachment. Chosen One. The timing is perfect. Heaven waited for this hour. And now that it has arrived, nothing can interrupt what God has started in your life. Chosen One. Now that heaven has begun to uncover what was hidden in the shadows, it is time to understand the deeper reality behind this divine intervention. What you are experiencing is not simply the removal of a person. It is the unraveling of a spiritual assignment that was never meant to cling to your destiny. God is not only showing you who this man truly is, He is showing you who you are, what you carry, and why certain people could never be allowed to remain close to you in this next season of your life. Anointed One. A spiritual misalignment is far more dangerous than an open enemy. A person with unclear intentions can reach your heart before your discernment has time to speak. They can touch the places of your soul that you guard from the world. And that is exactly why heaven intervened. The Most High saw the quiet intentions behind this man's smile, the subtle inconsistencies in his spirit, the thoughts that shifted when you weren't around. God saw the deception before it matured. He saw the trap before it tightened. He saw the emotional and spiritual drain long before you realized how heavy your heart had become. There is something God wants you to understand right now. Protection often comes disguised as separation, and separation often feels painful before it feels holy. You did not misread the signs, Chosen One. You did not imagine the heaviness in your chest after spending time with Him. You did not exaggerate the way your peace seemed to dim whenever He entered the room. These were signals, gentle warnings, woven into your days by a God who never sleeps. Heaven was whispering to your spirit that something was off long before your mind had the language for it. And perhaps you tried to ignore these whispers. You may have told yourself you were being too sensitive. You may have given him the benefit of the doubt, believing that his kindness was pure, his intentions were aligned, his presence was safe. But discernment does not lie. It becomes heavier, louder, and clearer the longer it goes unacknowledged. Chosen one. This man may not have harmed you with his hands, but intentions alone carry spiritual weight. Motives have energy. Hidden agendas disturb the atmosphere. People who admire your light but envy your calling can drain you slowly without ever raising their voice. And that is what heaven refused to let continue. You were becoming spiritually exhausted without understanding why. The connection was subtly pulling you into emotional confusion. Your clarity was dimming. Your joy was becoming quieter. You felt your spirit shrinking in ways you couldn't explain. That wasn't coincidence, that was contamination. That was spiritual interference, disguised as companionship. And heaven stepped in before it could take root. Sometimes God removes someone not because of what they've done, but because of what they were preparing to do. Because he sees the intentions that would have become actions. Because he hears conversations before they're spoken aloud. Because he reads the heart long before behavior reveals its truth. This man's presence was beginning to interfere with your destiny. His energy was beginning to conflict with your calling. His intentions were beginning to disrupt the alignment heaven was trying to establish around your life. And God, who oversees every step you take, made the decision for you. Anointed one, you are stepping into a season that demands clarity. A season where your spirit must remain sharp, your heart must remain guarded, and your path must remain unobstructed. Anything that brings confusion, heaviness, or spiritual noise cannot go with you. You may not have seen the danger, but heaven did. God saw how this connection would have delayed your blessings. He saw how it would have drained your confidence, your focus, your emotional strength. He saw how it would have tied your heart to someone who did not have the capacity to support the weight of your calling. And so he created a divine disruption, not to break you, but to free you. Chosen one, you were spared, truly spared. God spared you from heartbreak you didn't see coming. He spared you from manipulation that would have deepened over time. He spared you from subtle spiritual warfare that would have weakened your purpose. He spared you from emotional exhaustion that would have worn down your clarity. He spared you from a connection that would have grown darker the longer it remained attached. This moment is not a punishment. It is protection. It is not rejection. It is redirection. It is not loss. It is liberation. And now that this spiritual weight has been removed, something inside you is already beginning to shift. You may not feel it fully yet, but your spirit is breathing again. The fog is clearing. The tension in your chest is easing. The confusion in your heart is lifting. This is what freedom feels like. Quiet at first, then undeniable. Anointed one. This separation is also preparation. God is clearing the atmosphere around you because the next season of your life requires spiritual room. Your blessings have been waiting for your heart to be free from interference. Your opportunities have been hovering around your life, unable to land because of the wrong presence. Your elevation has been ready, but God could not let you ascend with someone who would not protect your purpose. Now things can move. Now heaven can release. Now your spirit can rise without resistance. This unveiling is not the end. It is the beginning of alignment. the beginning of clarity. The beginning of a spiritually clean season where you walk with confidence, not confusion, with discernment, not doubt, with peace, not heaviness. You may feel emotionally tender right now, but trust this: what God removed was far smaller than what God is preparing. You will understand this fully in the days to come. Your spirit will confirm it. Your peace will testify. Your clarity will return stronger. Your purpose will feel lighter. And what heaven releases next will reveal why this had to happen now. God has not taken anything from you. He has only removed what was quietly limiting you. Chosen one, now that heaven has cleared what was quietly limiting you, it is time to understand what is coming into the space that has been divinely emptied. God never removes without preparing to replace. He never exposes without intending to elevate. And He never reveals the truth about someone's intentions unless it is time for you to step into a greater measure of clarity, authority, and spiritual inheritance. This moment marks the beginning of divine rearrangement in your life. What was taken away was not meant to stay. What is approaching is aligned, anointed, and ordained. And whether you feel strong or shaken right now, the truth is this: you are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift. A shift that is not simply emotional or relational, but deeply spiritual, one that reaches into your destiny, your provision, and your future calling. Anointed one, the removal of this man was the removal of a barrier between you and the next level of blessing that God has been preparing in the unseen. You may not realize it yet, but certain breakthroughs were being delayed because your spirit was tied to someone who could not accompany you into your next season. Some blessings can only land in an atmosphere of purity. Some promotions only appear when the wrong voices have been silenced. Some divine instructions can only be heard when the counterfeit influence has been removed. This is why heaven acted. This is why the veil lifted. This is why the truth surfaced. Because your spirit is now being positioned to receive what was hindered for too long. In this new phase, God is restoring your spiritual sight. You will begin to notice things you overlooked before: small details, subtle shifts, energetic impressions in conversations. Your discernment will no longer whisper. It will speak with clarity. It will cut through confusion. It will guide your decisions. This is heaven's gift to you, not only protection from deception, but empowerment to see clearly before deception even forms. Chosen one. This clarity is not random, it is preparation. Because what is approaching requires a spirit that is alert, not drained, a heart that is guarded, not entangled, a mind that is sharp, not distracted. The blessings coming your way are too valuable to share space with distortion or hidden agendas. God is preparing to release a new flow of opportunities into your life, opportunities that require emotional maturity, spiritual strength, and inner peace. There are doors that were locked before because heaven saw what you could not see. There were connections withheld because God knew the impact they would have if introduced prematurely. But now those restrictions are being lifted. Your path is opening. Your destiny is breathing again. You may notice something strange happening over the next days and weeks, a sense of lightness, a deeper peace, a feeling of elevation that you cannot quite explain. This is spiritual alignment settling into your atmosphere. Your soul is stepping out of confusion and into clarity. You are no longer fighting invisible battles caused by someone else's intentions. You are no longer carrying emotional weight that did not belong to you. This is what freedom feels like, not dramatic, but transformative. Anointed one, heaven is also restoring your confidence. What you went through may have made you question your discernment, your intuition, or your spiritual sensitivity. You may have wondered if you misread the signs or trusted too quickly. But hear this, you did not fail. You did not miss anything. You were not blind. You simply loved with purity, and purity is never a weakness. Heaven allowed you to see the truth, not because you were naive, but because you were ready. Ready to grow, to elevate, to rise above who you were last season and step into the stronger, wiser version of yourself. And in this new clarity, God is preparing to entrust you with new assignments, new connections, new responsibilities, blessings that require someone who can recognize authenticity, opportunities that require discernment, relationships that require emotional maturity. You are not being prepared for small things. You are being prepared for significant ones, chosen one. This next season will reveal how much God has been protecting you behind the scenes. You will start to see divine alignment in unexpected places, open doors, surprising favor, sudden clarity in decisions that once felt heavy. What once felt delayed will suddenly accelerate. What seemed blocked will open effortlessly. The reason, the interference has been removed. And now heaven is moving swiftly without resistance. You will meet people whose presence feels peaceful, not heavy. People with pure intentions. People who reflect truth, not imitation. God is preparing to send those who honor your spirit, support your calling, and align with your destiny. You will look back at the man who was removed and realize he did not have the capacity to walk with the version of you God is now forming. There is also a supernatural transfer unfolding around your life, a transfer of wisdom, clarity, and spiritual authority. When deception breaks, revelation flows. When a counterfeit connection falls away, divine insight increases. You are stepping into a higher dimension of spiritual awareness. You will feel it in your decisions. You will sense it in your atmosphere. You will notice it in the peace that returns to your days. God is not only protecting you, He is elevating you. And elevation requires separation, not to punish you, but to prepare you, not to isolate you, but to refine you, not to break your heart, but to rebuild your destiny. Anointed one, you may not fully understand everything right now, but trust this truth. What God is doing in your life is intentional, strategic, and deeply loving. You are not being led into emptiness. You're being led into fullness. What is coming next will reveal why this unveiling had to happen at this exact moment. And in Part 6, Chosen One, we will go deeper into what God is positioning you to receive the blessings, opportunities, and divine alignments that were waiting for your spirit to be free. The shift has begun. The awakening is here. Your next chapter is calling. Chosen One. Now that heaven has begun repositioning you, you may be asking yourself, how long has this shift been happening? When did God start preparing me for this elevation? The truth is, this transition did not begin today. It did not begin when you noticed the red flags, nor when the uneasiness settled into your spirit. Heaven started moving long before your mind could interpret what was happening. What you're experiencing now is simply the unveiling of what has been aligned for months, maybe even years. Anointed One. The signs were there, subtle, quiet, but consistent. They showed up in the form of emotional fatigue, spiritual restlessness, sudden clarity, or unexpected discomfort. You may have brushed these feelings aside as stress or overthinking, but they were signals. Heaven was tugging at you gently, redirecting your steps, preparing you to detach from anything that could interfere with what God was trying to birth in your life. Think back, Chosen One. Remember those days when your peace felt fragile, disappearing the moment you engaged with certain people. Remember how your dreams shifted, how your spirit felt heavier, how conversations that used to feel normal suddenly felt draining. These were not coincidences. These were holy indicators that your spirit was outgrowing your environment. You were being prepared for spiritual expansion, but something or someone was trying to keep you small. You may not have understood it then, but heaven did. God saw that your spirit was becoming cluttered by someone who was not aligned with your future. And so the signs came not to scare you, but to prepare you. Another sign was the sudden shift in your desires. Things you once tolerated began to irritate you. Behaviors you once excused began to feel unacceptable. You started craving peace more than conversation alignment, more than companionship, truth more than comfort. That wasn't a personality change. That was spiritual maturity. You were evolving, and heaven was adjusting your internal compass. Chosen one. One of the strongest signs of divine elevation is when God begins to disconnect your emotions from someone who is not meant to follow you into the next season. The conversations become shorter, the connection feels forced, the energy feels distant. You find yourself pulling away without knowing why. That is God protecting your spirit by withdrawing your attachment. Once your heart begins to detach, heaven knows the separation is near. Another sign was the shift in your dreams, literal or spiritual. Perhaps you began dreaming differently, sensing things more clearly, or waking up with a strange feeling that something was off. Spiritual dreams often increase when danger is near or when destiny is calling. Heaven communicates through dreams when the spirit is quiet enough to hear what the mind may reject. And then there was the physical sign, the exhaustion. Not the kind that comes from work or lack of sleep, but the kind that hits you after interacting with someone who drains your spiritual energy. This exhaustion is proof that your spirit is absorbing what your mind has been ignoring. Anointed one. These were the indicators that heaven was shifting you, that God was pulling you toward clarity and away from confusion, that you were outgrowing a connection that could not handle your calling. And now that the exposure has come, the signs make sense. They were confirmations. They were warnings. They were divine whispers, reminding you that you were not wrong, you were discerning. Chosen one. You did not imagine the misalignment. You did not misread the tension. You did not misunderstand the unease. Your spirit was telling you long before the truth became visible. Chosen one. Now that truth has surfaced and the veil has been lifted, you are entering a sacred phase that many people never understand, the phase of divine recovery and spiritual realignment. Exposure is not the end of the journey, it is the doorway into restoration. And although what you've seen or sensed may have shaken you, heaven is now guiding you into a season of rebuilding, recalibrating, and reclaiming what belongs to you. Anointed one, when God removes someone from your path, especially someone who carried hidden motives, the aftermath can feel like standing in an empty room after the noise suddenly stops. There is a silence that settles in a silence that is both peaceful and unnerving. You may feel lighter, but you may also feel confused. You may feel relieved, but you may still ask yourself, why did this have to happen this way? Why didn't I see it sooner? These emotions are natural. They are part of the healing process. But hear this clearly, God is not revealing the truth to shame you. He is revealing it to shape you. You are not being punished. You are being repositioned. You are not failing. You are being freed. The first step in this restoration is emotional release. Heaven is removing the residue of manipulation, the weight of confusion, the fog of second guessing that you carried without realizing how heavy it had become. The Most High is clearing your heart from the emotional fingerprints of someone who should have never been that close to your spirit. Even if you feel shaken, you are more protected than ever. Chosen one. The second step in this divine realignment is the restoration of your clarity. When you are connected to someone with hidden intentions, your spiritual vision becomes blurred. Not because you lack discernment, but because your compassion often speaks louder than your intuition. You wanted to believe the best. You wanted to give grace. You wanted to see potential instead of patterns. And there is no shame in that. It is evidence of your heart. But now, God is sharpening your spiritual senses again. You will begin to notice details differently. You will hear tones you once ignored. You will catch red flags the moment they appear. Where there was once confusion, there will now be certainty. Where there was once hesitation, there will now be confidence. Your discernment is being upgraded, refined by revelation. The third step is reclaiming your energy and identity. When someone with misaligned intentions stays close to you for too long, you begin to shrink without realizing it. Your joy becomes quieter, your confidence becomes softer, your dreams become less urgent. You stop moving the way you once did because your spirit is carrying weights you were never designed to hold. But now that weight is being lifted. Anointed one, you are going to feel yourself returning slowly at first, then powerfully. You will notice your smile coming back, your ideas coming back, your hunger for purpose coming back. The heaviness will lift, and in its place will rise a strength you forgot you had. This is heaven restoring your identity, the version of you that is bold, discerning, grounded, peaceful, and powerful. And then comes the fourth step, spiritual elevation. After exposure, God always brings expansion. You are stepping into a new realm of authority. Your prayers will hit differently. Your decisions will carry more weight. Your presence will affect environments in ways people cannot explain. This elevation is not loud, it is deep. You will feel it more internally than externally at first, but soon it will manifest in the physical world too. Doors will open unexpectedly. Opportunities you thought were delayed will find you again. Assignments and blessings that were spiritually blocked will now move freely toward you. Chosen one. Heaven is not just restoring you. Heaven is repositioning you for something bigger. This is why the exposure had to happen, not to break you, but to build you. Not to crush you, but to clear you. Not to wound you, but to make space for what is coming next. And what is coming next is not small, it is not ordinary, it is not fragile. It is a divine elevation, one that requires your spirit to be clean and your atmosphere to be protected. Chosen one, now that heaven has cleansed your atmosphere and restored your clarity, it is time to step into the part of this journey that carries the greatest promise, the revelation of what God is preparing to release into your life. You have walked through the shaking. You have endured the unveiling. You have confronted the truth even when it stung. And now you are standing at the threshold of supernatural release, the kind that only comes after a season of separation and purification. Anointed one, hear this with your whole spirit. Everything God removed was blocking what God is about to give. Heaven does not take without returning. Heaven does not expose without elevating. Heaven does not reveal darkness without releasing light. What was cleared from your life was making room for what has been waiting for you. This next season of your journey is not about survival, it is about activation. It is about stepping into a version of yourself that is aligned, discerning, spiritually sharp, emotionally grounded, and ready to receive what heaven has been storing for you. And the blessings that are approaching your life are not ordinary blessings. They are things that were delayed, held back, or slowed down because of the wrong presence, the wrong connection, or the wrong atmosphere. Now that the blockage is gone, the flow can begin. Chosen one. One of the first things heaven is releasing is supernatural clarity. The kind of clarity that allows you to see your path without confusion. Ideas will begin to form with ease. Decisions that felt heavy will suddenly feel simple. You will know which door is yours and which door is not meant for you. Clarity is one of heaven's greatest gifts because when you can see, you cannot be deceived. Another release that is coming is renewed spiritual strength. Not just emotional resilience, but deep spiritual authority. Your prayers will carry more precision. Your discernment will activate faster. Your inner peace will become harder to shake. God is strengthening the foundation of your spirit so that nothing and no one can destabilize you again. The shakiness you feel now is temporary. The stability you are stepping into will be permanent. Anointed one. The next release is divine opportunities. Doors you thought were closed are about to open because the obstruction has been removed. People who once overlooked you will suddenly recognize your value. Territory that was once inaccessible will open as if it had been waiting specifically for you. God is not just blessing your life, He is repositioning it. There are places you will go, connections you will meet, and opportunities you will walk into that were impossible before this purification. Also, coming into your life is restored joy. Not the surface-level happiness that depends on circumstances, but deep-rooted joy that flows from your spirit. The type of joy that makes you feel light when you wake up. The type of joy that returns creativity, laughter, and peace to your days. The type that comes from knowing you are finally aligned with heaven again. Chosen one. Heaven is also releasing divine financial provision. Blessings that were tied up, delayed, or interfered with are now free to reach you. Ideas that generate income opportunities that elevate your career, unexpected resources, open doors in business promotions, financial breakthroughs, these are all part of the release. Not because of luck, but because the spiritual blockage has been cleared. You are entering a season of overflow, not scarcity. Another release is relational renewal. Healthy relationships. Spirit-led connections, people who support your calling rather than drain it, people who celebrate your growth rather than compete with it, people who stand with you not because of what you give, but because of who you are. God is sending individuals who match your spirit, honor your purpose, and walk with clean intentions. The loneliness you feel now is the doorway to divine alignment. Anointed One Heaven is also giving you a renewed identity, the version of yourself you were always meant to become. Stronger, wiser, softer in the right places, sharper in the places that matter, more spiritually aware, more confident, more at peace with who you are, and less attached to what others expect you to be. You are not being rebuilt into a new person. You are being restored to your original spiritual design. And finally, heaven is releasing divine momentum. You will begin to move faster. Things that were slow will accelerate. Goals that felt impossible will start unfolding naturally. Doors will open one after another as though a supernatural wind is carrying you forward. This momentum is heaven's confirmation that you are walking in divine timing, divine order, and divine alignment. Chosen one. The season ahead of you is one of glory, clarity, and release. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are stepping into fulfillment. Everything you lost will return with increase. Everything you prayed for will begin shaping itself into reality. Everything that broke you will now serve as a testimony of how God carried you. Chosen one. As we enter this final part of the journey, know this: everything you have walked through in this message has been leading you to a single truth. Heaven did not reveal the hidden intentions of that man merely to alert you. God revealed it to advance you. What felt like exposure was actually elevation. What felt like shaking was divine awakening. And what looked like loss was the clearing of spiritual space so that your true calling could finally breathe. Anointed one, you have stepped into a chapter that many never reach. Most people remain entangled in relationship cycles and spiritual distractions that cripple their destiny for years. But you were chosen to be awakened. You were selected for clarity. Heaven placed its hand on you, pulled you aside and said, "You will not fall into the trap. You will not be deceived. You will move forward clean, free, and untouched by what was meant to drain you." This is why the shaking occurred. Because your next season is too important, too fragile, and too deeply anointed to be shared with someone carrying hidden motives. You are stepping into assignments that require strong discernment, a protected mind, and a spiritually guarded heart. You are stepping into opportunities that require emotional stability and inner peace, and God refused to let the wrong person sit beside you while His plans unfold. Chosen one. Your destiny was never meant to be carried by someone who admired your light but feared your calling, someone who enjoyed your presence but could not honor your purpose, someone who liked your strength but hoped your discernment would stay quiet. Heaven saw what you did not. Heaven intercepted what you could not. Heaven removed what you still questioned. That is divine love, not the soft, comfortable kind, but the fierce, protective love that refuses to let your destiny be sabotaged. And now, as the veil lifts completely, you are entering a season of supernatural replacement. Every emotional loss will be replaced with clarity. Every betrayal will be replaced with strength. Every draining connection will be replaced with alignment. Every unanswered question will be replaced with divine understanding. Every moment of confusion will be replaced with supernatural guidance. Anointed one, heaven does not leave empty spaces. Where there is a void, God will fill it. Where there is a wound, God will heal it. Where there is silence, God will speak. You may think this revelation is the end of something, but in truth, it is the activation of everything. You are being prepared to receive people who will honor your spirit, not manipulate it. People who will protect your heart, not play with it. People who will walk with you, not drain you. People whose intentions are clean, whose motives are pure, and whose presence brings peace rather than pressure. Chosen one, get ready, because God is bringing replacements that carry purpose. You will meet individuals who speak to your destiny, not your insecurity. Individuals who understand your calling and do not fear your evolution. Individuals who carry spiritual maturity and emotional steadiness. These divine connections are part of the next chapter of your assignment. But this part of the journey is not only about people, it is about identity. Heaven is restoring you to the version of yourself that existed before disappointment entered, before discouragement settled, before manipulation confused your spirit. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. Your intuition is sharpening, your peace is deepening, your spiritual authority is rising. For the first time in a long time, you will recognize yourself. Not the version of you that was drained or confused, but the version of you that God designed before the world ever touched you. The strong one, the intuitive one, the spiritually sensitive one, the anointed one, the one who carries wisdom beyond your years, the one who chooses purity even when others choose manipulation. This is the version of you that will carry your next season. Anointed one, understand this deeply. When God removes someone, He is not only removing their influence, He is removing the spiritual weight they carried into your atmosphere. You will soon feel lighter without trying. You will hear God more clearly without forcing it. You will sleep better without understanding why. You will feel peace in places where you once felt chaos. This is the quiet evidence of spiritual release. Chosen one. This moment of revelation is also a moment of redefinition. Your boundaries will change. Your standards will rise. Your spirit will no longer tolerate what once drained you. Your intuition will be sharper than ever. You will sense people's intentions quickly, accurately, and without confusion. This is not paranoia. It is spiritual maturity. Your heart will no longer be accessible to everyone. Your peace will no longer be negotiable. Your presence will no longer be given freely. God has set you apart for a reason, and this season will make that reason unmistakably clear. And now, Anointed One, hear this. What was meant to limit you has now launched you. What was meant to distract you has now awakened you. What was meant to break your confidence has now strengthened your spirit. The attack became the revelation. The revelation became the release. And the release will become the elevation. You are entering a chapter where blessings will locate you quickly. Opportunities will open effortlessly. Closed doors will swing wide without resistance. Divine alignment will accelerate. What once felt stuck will begin to flow. You will see God's hand in ways that leave you speechless. Why? Because the atmosphere is finally clean. Because the blockage has been removed. Because the counterfeit has fallen away. Because your spirit is no longer carrying the weight of someone else's hidden intentions. This final part of your journey is about one thing: stepping fully into the person you were meant to be before the shadows touched your path. Chosen one, walk forward boldly. Do not look back at what God removed. Do not mourn what was never meant to stay. Do not question what heaven made clear. Your eyes are open. Your spirit is strong. Your destiny is protected. Your steps are guided. Your future is unfolding exactly as God has aligned it. And now you are ready for what comes next. Not weakened, not wounded, but wiser, freer, and spiritually unstoppable. Chosen one, as this message comes to its sacred close, let your spirit rest in the truth that heaven has revealed today. You are not leaving this moment empty. You are leaving marked, strengthened, and divinely aligned. The same God who warned you is the God who now walks you into restoration, protection, and supernatural transfer. This is your Kairos moment, the exact hour heaven has chosen to shift your atmosphere and set your destiny back into divine order. Anointed One, the veil has lifted. What was hidden has been exposed. And now the path before you is cleared for blessing, clarity, and elevation. Step forward, knowing that the snares have been broken, the counterfeit has been removed, and the future that once felt delayed is moving toward you with speed and favor. As you rise from this moment, may your discernment be sharpened, your peace be restored, and your strength be renewed. May the hand of the Almighty cover every step you take. May angels surround your home, your heart, and your purpose. And may everything that was stolen return multiplied. Chosen 1. Hear this as confirmation. You are stepping into days where what once resisted you will now welcome you, where what once confused you will now make sense, and where what once seemed impossible will unfold effortlessly. Heaven has gone before you. The path is safer, clearer, and more anointed than it has ever been. If this word stirred something deep inside you, let it be acknowledged. Share your agreement in the comments or simply whisper, "I receive." And if you feel led, remain connected here. More revelation, more clarity, and more divine guidance awaits. Chosen one, stay faithful, stay discerning, and stay close to His voice. Until we meet again, may the peace of God surround you like a shield and lead you into the fullness of what is now being released over your life.